Hey Mustangs, Mrs. Alvarez here for part 2 of your four-year planning freshman presentation. So by this time, you've already watched Mrs. Sang's video explaining some of the ins and outs of high school, the difference between requirements for graduation or for having options to apply to a four-year university perhaps. And now we're going to actually build out our four-year plan. So you might still have some questions about which classes come after what and what's available to me and why would I choose honors over college prep, and that's okay. A lot of those questions will be answered when you have more time and meet with your counselor to learn more about you and your goals. But also, I'm going to show you some supplemental documents that are going to aid in how you make this four-year plan. So hopefully you'll feel informed, know where to find answers to your questions, but ultimately you'll have an opportunity to meet with us to help in this process. And so I'll share more about that. And at the end of everything, by Friday, February 5th, we will have a final product of a rough four-year plan that indicates core classes as well as electives. So this is what we have to look forward to, and let me show you how to get there. So you're already familiar with our Google site page. Here you have kind of an overview that Mrs. Sang mapped out for us. You've done part 1 by listening to this video and maybe telling your teacher something that you learned. Now part 2 is building that plan by using a Google form. And we'll get to that in a minute, but a lot of your questions are going to be answered by looking at some of the documents just down here, what we're calling supplemental documents. So helpful handouts that will help inform you about what's available to me, when do I take which class, and what classes might fall into the things that I'm interested in. So let's just go around here clockwise. The first one is our four-year planning reference with electives that are organized kind of by category and then subject area. So as you can see on the Google site, you guys probably already know this. I can just look at the document here and see what, if I'm trying to look at the languages that are available, or I can click the pop-out button and then actually be able to view this document in its entirety, maybe zooming in to look at all the art classes, or ultimately I could find the download button if I wanted to download this for myself, or add it to my Google Drive. That would be great if you could create your own digital crate of sorts and call it My Digital Crate for college planning or just high school planning, and we can house all these documents so that you always know where to find them. So that, as you saw, is electives organized by category. Now, part of the electives will be, you'll see here, I've got it zoomed into the CTE courses, Career and Technical Education. As you remember, Mrs. Sang described those as being classes that might be a great fit for pursuing maybe a technical trade after high school, but actually even four-year universities like to see that you've exposed yourself to a particular industry if this is your area of study. So let's take an interest in architecture as an example. I'm going to view this one as a pop-out just so we can see all the information clearly. So if I'm interested in architecture, maybe I want to go to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. That's a great school for architecture and engineering. You can see that I would start with the introductory course of Principles of Engineering. Then, if I'm in that as a freshman, that means as a sophomore, I take Arch Design 1. As a junior, I take Arch Design 2. And then as a senior, I could take the advanced course if I wanted to. So this is to help inform you about the sequence of courses and how you would work toward getting to the advanced course, but at least the capstone course. So that's a really cool opportunity to show colleges or community colleges or trade schools that you've already learned certain programming, that you already know how to, create a blueprint or something. Going down here to the bottom left is our high school planning guide. This is a larger document that will contain all sorts of information from the different sort of trade schools that are available in our area, California community colleges and what they have to offer, as well as the different Cal State information and other four-year opportunities, and even the military and what that looks like to pursue that. So this is a larger handout that you might not find as helpful for this exact assignment, but generally this is something you want to save as we plan ahead. And then lastly, we've got courses by grade level that'll show you kind of the sequence of what comes after what. For example, let's look at science, area D. So I could see that after bio is chem, after chem is physics, and after physics we have some options. And so what I want to note is that if I'm in college prep bio as a 9th grader, and I'm doing really well and I want to challenge myself, I can do honors chemistry next year. So we have some variation in what we pursue. Now down to the nitty-gritty of filling out this form using all this information. So you can fill out the form right here in the website so that you can go down and look at the supplemental documents all on the same page. I recommend that. So make sure your first name and last name are separate and accurate so we know how to record this for you. Your parent email, because this is going to send a document straight to them, so make sure that's correct. As well as your own. It could be a private email account if you like that, like a Gmail, separate from your My Saddleback. Indicate your counselor by last name. My last name's Alvarez. And in summary, in general, what would be your goal after high school? And then to the best of your ability, indicate a pathway that kind of piques your interest. So these different sectors, you can follow this link and see which kind of jobs are under each category. So I'm looking here at the pink education. That's something I would be interested in, so I could see what exactly does that mean in detail. So to the best of your ability, pick one or two. It might not be a perfect description, but just something that summarizes. Now we're going to move into the actual coursework piece, and the sequence is going to be a grade level core academics like English, math, history, and science, and then an elective section where you will actually use one of the handouts that shows you everything that's available. And so it could be that some years you have 2, it could be that some years you have 3. Maybe you're someone who does ASB every single year, but you also are incorporating your art in a language, for example. So you'll use this one for the elective piece, and you'll continue on. 10th grade core coursework, 10th grade electives, 11th grade core coursework, 11th grade electives, so on and so forth. When you submit, then you should get that plan in your email. Now, if you have trouble filling out this form or have some clarifying questions, we are offering workshops. You can find the information here as well as the Zoom link. On Wednesday and Friday, you can join us at 1 o'clock, and you will be put in a breakout room with your counselors so they can answer specific questions that you might have or walk you through it if you were having trouble. So if we don't see you then, we hope that you had a good experience kind of mapping out what you have to look forward to in the next 3 years. Otherwise, maybe we'll see you Wednesday or Friday, and we look forward to supporting you as you work toward life after high school. Thanks.